Good morning, students. Welcome back again. We were discussing the chapter number 5 of English, that is Indigo. We have already discussed two parts and we are moving towards the final part of this chapter, right? Those students who have not watched the video, I am going to tell you the summary again so that you can understand the story of the chapter. It is about Mahatma Gandhi. It is about Mahatma Gandhi, who struggled for the underprivileged peasants. Peasants means sharecroppers for Champaran. They were the sharecroppers with the British planters. Thus, Gandhi decided to fight against the injustice. There was an injustice going on in that village. So, Gandhiji decided to give them the justice. He waged a war which lasted for a year to tackle the discrimination and got justice for the sharecroppers. And finally, Gandhiji won the battle and he got justice for the sharecropper. This is the short summary of this chapter. So, those students who have not watched the video of part 1 and part 2, so you can understand it from the summary, right? We are moving towards the last part of the chapter. Take out page number 53. Second paragraph. Events justified Gandhi's positions. Within a few years, the British planters abandoned their estates, which reverted the peasants, and indigo sharecropping disappeared. Right, within few years we know the story. We have seen in part 1 and part 2, right, that Gandhiji was going on legal actions. He was not, moving from the village. He filed a case against the courts and all the particular positive things happened in that village, right, and the British officials and the landlords had a meeting, right, and they decided to give the amount of money back, right, but Gandhiji got them, he caught them, he fought for them, and finally the British landlord disappeared from that place, right, and all the sharecroppers or the sharecropping place that was being agricultured or that was being made on that particular field was given to the sharecroppers, right. Gandhiji never contented himself with large political or economic solutions. He saw the cultural and the social backwardness in the Champaran villages and wanted to do something about it immediately. He actually came here for all the people, right, because they were socially and economically backward. He never came with a political view in his mind that I'll gain the victory over here and that would give me the benefit in politics. No, he was not like that. He actually helped the sharecroppers just because they were totally backward. They were totally backward economically and socially. They didn't have anything. They didn't have knowledge. They didn't know what to speak. They didn't know what to write. And that was the main motive. That is why Gandhiji helped the sharecroppers to get their justice, to get their right, and to get their piece of land. This is what the ultimate message that Gandhiji gave to that village in form of giving the places whom actually they owned, right. This was the message. Now at the end, this is the end of the story, right, but Gandhiji does something extra for that village. See, that is what the end is. See, discrimination and got justice for the peasants. Again he gave the justice for the peasants, right. The landlords who had stayed there, they ran away from that place. So that is the end of the chapter. But Gandhiji is still not going from that place. What he does in that village, that is the end of the story. He appealed the teachers about it immediately. Mahadev Desai and Narhari Parikh, two young men who had just joined Gandhiji as disciples, and their wives volunteered for the work. Several more came from Bombay, Pune and other distant part of the land. Devdas, Gandhiji's youngest son, arrived from the ashram, and so did Mrs. Gandhi. Primary schools were opened in 6 villages. That was the most important thing that Gandhiji developed over there. Not 1, not 2, but primary schools. How many? In 6 villages were opened. That is the basic thing that a human should get, that a man and a woman should get, a boy and a girl should get, that is education. That village was totally uneducated, and the problems that they were facing in all these sharecropping agreements and all these things were because of not having proper education. Gandhiji helped them. They won the battle. They got their places back. But that is not the end of the chapter. That is not the end of the story. He understood the place, the backwardness of the people, the thinking mentality of the people, the standard of living of the people. So what did he do? He called the teachers from several other places. He called his younger son, he called his wife, and they developed schools in 6 villages so that the people will get educated, they'll know what is right and what is wrong. This is something even more important that Gandhiji does over there in that village. Kasturbai, wife of Gandhiji, taught the ashram rules on personal cleanliness and community sanitation. His wife also taught the people about the cleanliness, the safety, the sanitation process, all that things she taught to the village people whom they didn't know or they didn't have any kind of such knowledge. Cleanliness is an important part of our own life. We are educated, that is why we know what cleanliness is. They were not, so they didn't have any idea. Right? So this is a more important thing that Gandhiji does over there. Right? Look what else he does. Health conditions were miserable. The people living over there, the health conditions were extremely miserable. Gandhiji got a doctor to volunteer his services for 6 months. He even consulted a doctor also. And he stayed there for 6 months. 6 months is a big number, right? 3 medicines were available: castor oil, quinine and sulfur ointment. Anybody who showed a cottage tongue was given a dose of castor oil. Anybody with malaria fever received quinine plus castor oil. Anybody with skin eruptions received ointment plus castor oil. All these medicines, all these doctor facilities, all the people living over there with different kind of diseases were given medicines in free of cost. The health condition of that village was extremely poor. The people over there, the standard of living was very low. As they were poor, they were not educated, they didn't have the money. So they don't know how to live, how to manage themselves. So this is what Gandhiji taught over there. And whom he is calling? He is calling his wife, he is calling his son, he is calling some great teachers from other districts so that they can teach them. They can make them learn how to live, what cleanliness is, what education is, what medicines are. They don't know anything. What health condition is, how to improve your health conditions. Doctors were available. All these things were being done by Gandhiji himself on his personal expense. This is something very great that he does. Already they have won the battle, right? That is the end of the summary. The British landlord has escaped from that place. But is this the end of that village, Champaran? No. He does all these activities so that the people over there can live proper life. This is a much important message rather than the name of the chapter, that is indigo. They have won this. They have won the indigo process. But now it is even more what they need to learn, what they need to know. And this is what Gandhiji is teaching over there. Right? Gandhiji noticed the filthy state of women's clothes. He asked Kasturbai to talk to them about it. One woman took Kasturbai into their hut and said, "Look, there is no box or cupboard here for clothes." See, that was the condition over there. He saw the ladies over there and the clothes that they were wearing. So Gandhiji talked to his wife, "Please tell them to wear proper clothes." So there was one woman in that village who took into that hut and told Kasturbai, that is the wife of Gandhiji, "See, there is no cupboard to put the clothes." You can imagine how difficult the situation would be, or how worse the situation would be. Right? "The sari I am wearing is the only one I have." This is what the lady said over there who lived in that village. "There is only one sari that I am wearing and that is what I have." Can we imagine in today's era just one pair of clothes and we need to survive for the rest of the life? Can we imagine our life like that? No. But those people were living that life. This is something very miserable. Right? During his long stay in Champaran, Gandhiji kept a long distance watch on the ashram. He sent regular instructions by mail and asked for financial accounts. Right? He stayed there he kept a watch on the ashram. How much fund do I have? How much financial strength do I have in that ashram? So that I can, get the financial amount from there to here in that village and I can develop something over here. He is making all these things on his personal expense. The income that he is getting from ashram, right? He is bringing that amount of money to this village and trying to develop the living standards of the people in that Champaran village. Can we do like this? Can we spend the money which we earn to someone else who don't know, to someone else through which we need to give them education, we need to give them good clothes? Can we do all these things for some other people whom we don't know? No, we cannot do all these things. Or it is very difficult to do all these things in today's era. But in that era, Gandhiji didn't thought like that. Right? If he could have left the place. He just came over there to win the battle, right? He won the battle. That would be the end of the story. But he stayed there. He was concerned about the people of that village rather than winning this. It was his primary objective. This was being done. This was being fulfilled. This is the end of the chapter. But the most important part he stayed over there is to improve the life of the people, to make them understand what life is and how you need to live your life. And he did all these things. He managed all these things by his personal expense that he was getting from the ashram. Once he wrote to the residents that it was time to fill in the old latrine trenches and dig new ones, otherwise the old ones would begin to smell bad. The Champaran episode was a turning point in Gandhi's life. What I did, he explained, was a very ordinary thing. This is what Gandhiji said. What I did was a very ordinary thing. I declared that the British could not order me about in my own country. He said that who are these Britishers to order me what I need to do in my own country? This is my country. Whatever I feel like correct, whatever I feel that is right, I'll do for my people. They are no one to tell me anything in my own country. That is what Gandhiji says. Then moving towards the last end part of the story. But Champaran did not begin as an act of defiance. It grew out of an attempt to alleviate the distress of large number of poor peasants. This was the typical Gandhiji pattern. His politics were intertwined with the practical day-to-day problems of the millions. His was not a loyalty to abstractions, it was a loyalty to living human beings. Again he says over there, he didn't come for the political point of view or for any political benefits. It was about the human beings. It was about the living standards of the people over there in that village. It defines the act that he actually came over there just to win the battle, not for the political purposes that he will be famous and he will be getting more votes and he will be sitting on a good higher place in politics. No. He did all these things because he wanted to improve the living standards of the people of that village. That is his message. That was his motto. Right? In everything Gandhiji did, moreover, he tried to mold a new free Indian who would stand on his own feet and thus make India free. He just wanted that the people of that village should stand on their own legs. Today it is there. Gandhiji is there, physically present over there. So they are relying upon Gandhiji. But if Gandhiji goes from one place to the other place, what about those people? Are they going to stand on their own feet? And this is what he was teaching. That was his message, that you need to stand on your own feet. No one is going to support you for the rest of the life. You need to do all the activities by yourself. This is what the message is. You need to stand up what is right. You need to work hard. You need to get educated. You need to know how to live your life. You are humans. This is what is known as standing on your own legs. Doing all the activity by yourself rather than relying on someone else. This was the message that Gandhiji wanted to prove. This was the thing that Gandhiji wanted those people, how to live life, how to stand on your own feet. Right? This is why he does all these things. And thus make India free. Thus make India free. That was his message. If each and every people living in this country stands on their own legs rather than relying on someone else, right? Try to do something by their own. Try to do something which is, creative. Try to do something which makes you famous. Try to do something which is created out of hard work, out of talent. That will obviously going to give you the success at the end. But if you rely on someone else for the rest of their life, you are ruining your life. That is what Gandhiji wanted to say to these people, to these peasants. as they were totally relying on the British landlords. What actually the story was? The physical work was being done by the sharecroppers. And who used to get all the benefits? The landlords. This is what Gandhiji wanted to explain, that this is something wrong. You should understand that it is your work, it is your hard work, then you should get the benefits. You should stand on your own legs. You should fight for your freedom. But this wasn't being done for the number of years until Rajkumar Shukla came and changed all these things by giving information to Mahatma Gandhi, right? This is what life is all about. At certain point of time, even you as a student, you need to get up on your own legs, you need to work somewhere, you need to develop somewhere. Right? How much point of time you will rely on someone else? At least at one stage of time, you need to take the responsibility, either this way or that way. Right? But in your life, if you rely on each and everything on someone else, maybe parents, maybe cousins, maybe relatives, brothers and sisters, are they going to be there for the rest of your life? It is a question mark. Right? And at the end, what is your identity? That would be the worst thing. Right? If there is no identity for you, who are you if you don't stand on your legs? Right? This is what the message is in this story. That Gandhiji actually wanted those people to stand on their own feet, to realize, to fight for their justice. Right? And moving towards the last paragraph. Early in the Champaran action, Charles Freer Andrews, the English pacifist who had become a devoted follower of Mahatma Gandhi, he became the follower of Mahatma Gandhi. That is Charles Freer Andrews, came to bid Gandhi's farewell before going a tour of duty to the Fiji Islands. He farewelled Mahatma Gandhi as he was going to some island, right? So he thought that before going to that island, I'll call Gandhiji and I'll give a farewell to Mahatma Gandhi. He was a big follower of Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi's lawyer friends thought it would be a good idea for Andrews to stay in Champaran and help them. Andrews was willing if Gandhi agreed. See, Gandhi's friends, right, that is lawyer friends, they thought that if this guy, that is the foreigner, that is a Britisher, that is Charles Freer Andrews, they thought that if Andrews stay here in this village, then he can make them learn. Who he can make them learn? Those people, those sharecroppers, how to live your life. Right, what education is. So they thought, Gandhiji's lawyer friends thought that if this guy stays over here, then these people can learn something from Andrews, as Gandhiji was going to some other places. And Andrews was even willing if Gandhiji agreed. If Gandhiji says, I'm going to stay over here and help these people. Now what does Gandhi reply? See? But Gandhiji was vehemently opposed. He opposed that thing. He was not agreeing on these terms. Right? He said that, who is Andrews? Who is going to give him or going to give them the knowledge? Right? He said, you think that it is unequal fight, it would be helpful if we have an Englishman on our side? See, this is what Gandhiji said. Do you think it is an equal thing that if an Englishman is on our side and helping the poor people, is he actually going to help? We don't know. Right? It is just the opposite side. They are the Britishers. They are actually going to help these Indians, the poor peasants. Do you really think so? That were the thoughts in Gandhiji's mind. So he opposed that thing. He opposed that thing. Right? This shows the weakness of your heart. That was the thing that was going on Gandhi's mind. Right? That taking help from the foreigners, taking help from the Britishers, that is a weakness in our heart. Still today, right? In today's era also, people are going outside India to get education, to get studies, right? Who are earning? They are earning. Alright? And that is a mental craze over here in India, that we need to go out of India, we need to get this degree and we need to settle over in other places. Right, outside India, which is far more better than India. If you are born in India and you are Indian, right, you need to stay over here. Why the hell you are going outside and studying somewhere else and trying to settle your life in the other countries? This is what a mental trend is going on right now in 2020. Still we are dependent on those countries. We favor those countries, being Indians. And we follow the rules and regulations, right, of those countries as we have to live in that place. Right? This is still prevailing today. In 1917, this whole story took place in 1917, right? Even at that point of time, Gandhiji opposed. Then do you think that the British are favoring Indian? Can we accept this? This represents the weakness of Indians in their hearts. This is what Gandhiji said. Right? We are Indians, we need to help each other as Indians. This was the message. So he opposed Andrews and the lawyer friends. The cause is just, and you must rely upon yourself to win the battle. You must rely upon yourself to win the battle rather than relying on someone else. You should not seek a prop in Mr. Andrews because he happens to be an Englishman. He had read our minds correctly. Rajendra Prasad comments, and we had no reply. Gandhiji in this way taught us a lesson in self-reliance. The main message is self-reliance, standing on your own legs, working for your own self, trying to develop yourself, trying to, increase your level by working hard rather than relying on someone else. That is the Britishers in this chapter. This was the message, right? Self-reliance, Indian independence and help to sharecroppers were all bound together. If they all get together, if they all work together, obviously the people are going to develop. Obviously the village is going to develop. Obviously the district is going to develop. Then obviously the state is going to develop, and it would help the nation to be free. It is a great message by Mahatma Gandhi that we need to be self-reliant. Rather than relying on someone else, we need to work hard, we need to develop ourselves rather than focusing here and there, right? So that we can focus on ourselves and develop ourselves. This is a great message that we need to understand from Mahatma Gandhi. But what happens in today's era? We are focusing on the other things, right? More than developing ourselves. She did like this, he did like this, I want this, they have that, they have this. Rather than focusing on ourselves. We need to be happy what we have. We need to enjoy our life. We need to work hard. We need to develop ourselves. We need to look on the positive things rather than looking here and there. And what happens? Majority of the people look here and there and they disappointed themselves. They disappoint themselves, right? They have got everything because they have worked hard for it. And that is what they have achieved. If you work hard, even you can achieve. This was the message, an indirect message by Gandhiji, that if the people of Champaran district, right, work by themselves, helping each other in the village, obviously the whole village is going to develop. Rather than relying on the Britishers, that is Andrews or someone else in that village. We need to understand this message in our own life also and try to, make a change in our life. Try to develop yourself. Try to do all the activity by yourself rather than relying on someone else. There are always going to be two types of people who are always going to comment or always going to say something good and bad. If you stand there and if you listen to each and everything, you can never grow yourself, right? You can never develop yourself. Your growth would be over there only, and you would be relying over some other places just by closing with your friends, right? Then what is the difference between them and you? This is a great message by Mahatma Gandhi. Focus on yourself rather than, focusing on relying on someone else, so that you can develop yourself. You can grow yourself. I hope the story and the chapter is clear, right? Again, I am repeating the summary. Those students who have not watched it, it is about the independence in which there was a war fought by Mahatma Gandhi and got the justice for the peasants, right? This is the simple and short summary of this chapter, right? But what is more important, after winning this battle, what happened? We have seen in this video, right? What kind of development has been done by Mahatma Gandhi, his wife and his younger son, and by the other teachers, right? I hope the story is interesting. It made the message clear, right? Again, those students who have not written this, please write it down. Thank you.